What's up guys, my name is Colin and this is episode 7 of The Spin Cycle. Now I know it's been a while since I've made one of these videos, but today I am very excited because I'm going to be fixing a problem that I've had with my hybrid turbocharger for more than a few years now. So what is a hybrid turbocharger? Well, a hybrid turbo is one that is comprised of the components of 2 or more turbos. In my case, this is the stock Hitachi HT18 turbocharger and the Garrett T04B. So I've got the stock CHRA and hot side of the turbo, while having the Garrett T04B compressor housing wheel and turbine. Now this is done for fitment purposes. So in my case, I get to retain the stock manifold, I get to retain the stock water and oil lines, and therefore I have basically stock fitment altogether. The only thing that I had to change was the turbo inlet duct. The problem that I've been having is kind of my own fault, because when I installed this turbocharger a couple of years ago, I didn't do anything about the stock wastegate actuator. Now, stock boost levels on these cars are right around 7 psi, so as you can imagine, the spring inside of the stock wastegate actuator isn't very strong at all. The second it starts to generate any sort of significant boost, the back pressure in the exhaust pushes the wastegate open while it's trying to spool up. So it's kind of bleeding off the boost pressure while it's trying to build it, if that makes any sense to you. So the components that I have to make up my new boost control system are a dual port wastegate actuator made by Turbosmart. It is a universal fit actuator, so it's going to require a little bit of modification to get it to work in my application, but that's fine. I also went ahead and bought a new bracket that's going to fit my compressor housing for the wastegate actuator, and the electronic boost controller is made by GoFastBits. It is their G-Force 3 unit that not only has their usual overboost protection, but this also acts as a wideband gauge. It works with most of the popular wideband controllers, and you set a target, so if you go leaner than that, then it'll cut boost in an attempt to protect the engine. So it's not going to come as a great shock to most of you, but it is a different day from when I first began this project. It's actually been about a week since I installed the wastegate actuator into the car. And I didn't film very much of me, modifying or installing the wastegate actuator because it's a universal fit actuator. It's going to require some sort of modification for everybody's individual purpose, everybody's individual setup. So not everybody's going to have the same kind of hybrid turbo I have, and not many people are going to have the bracket that I'm using. So I didn't think that it would be beneficial to go into great detail about how I got it to fit my particular car. But it's been working great as just a standard wastegate actuator. No complaints there. It's a high quality piece. So I'm going to recommend it up until this point. But today I am going to pull it back off. I'm going to be pulling it back off so that I can install the secondary port on it to make it work as a dual port wastegate actuator in tandem with the solenoid that's going to all be, the show is going to be run by the electronic boost controller. So, let's get started because time's ticking. This wastegate actuator is designed to operate with 2 millimeters of preload. Now once you've set this preload, the only way you're going to hook the clevis back onto the wastegate arm is by using compressed air to extend the wastegate actuator rod, allowing you to hook it back on. So I've installed the second port on the wastegate actuator. I've spaced it out a little farther for better fitment, set the preload, everything is good to go with the wastegate actuator, and now I can install the electronic boost controller. And as I've said before, the EBC that I bought is the GoFastBits G-Force 3. And now I'm going to show you what all they give you in the box. Now obviously they send you the controller and the solenoid, but they also give you 2 different sizes of silicone hose necessary for the installation, as well as instructions and the wiring harness and various bits and bobbles that you need to make everything work. Now I also picked up an add-a-circuit kit just to make the installation a little bit easier and a little cleaner. The first thing you want to do is install the fittings into the correct ports of the solenoid as per the instructions for the way that you're going to be using the boost controller. And then you want to find a place to mount the solenoid in the engine bay that is away from any major heat sources. And with a home found for the solenoid, I can take the provided large T fitting and the larger of the silicone hose that they've given me, and I can plumb that between the wastegate actuator and the compressor housing of the turbo to the solenoid. Then run the wiring and the boost reference hose through the firewall and into the car. Crimp or solder your electrical terminals and then install them into their respective locations. Then you can test fit the controller and make sure that it works before you commit to any sort of mounting option. Once you're satisfied with all that, go ahead and cycle the power again and make sure everything still works. So the dual port wastegate actuator and the electronic boost controller are both installed and they are working. Obviously you saw that the controller for the EBC isn't permanently mounted in the interior. I just have it stuck in front of the tachometer right now, and there's a good reason for that. You know, I don't quite know where I want the controller to end up yet. I'm going to be changing up some stuff in my center stack, doing something different with the stereo, getting rid of that that absolutely ghastly 3-gauge pod holder that's a singleton that fits underneath the Sony Explode head unit that's from like 2003. So that's all going away at some point soon here, probably around Christmas time. When I feel like I'm going to spend a little money on myself for something frivolous. I'm kind of thinking at this point that the controller might end up as sort of a custom mount situation where the ashtray is, because I don't use the ashtray for anything except holding junk, really. I will be doing a video on how to, navigate through the menu system of the EBC and how to, change parameters and set things and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of lucky that I had time to film this video, well, finish it anyway. Obviously it's taken 2 days worth of filming and I'm working at night right now and have to work in the morning, so but obviously, as always guys, like the video, dislike the video, give me some feedback. If you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button because it will greatly help me out in the future, and it's kind of encouraging to continue to make these videos. So yeah, until next time guys, take care.